Hello, welcome. We are here with Veterans Nation, honoring our vets. We're here for you. Michelle Ladd, Rick Seaman.
All right. So,
All right, what do we have here?
we got all kind of stuff today.
I'm on vacation. I don't know.
Here's one.
Yeah.
Veterans of New Hampshire. And I know there's lots of you up there. You've got that license plate, live free or die. I've always liked that plate. I think it's still around. I know it was around back in the 60s when I was gallivanting around in those parts of the world. And my partner here, Michelle, happens to have some information as to where that license plate slogan
Yep.
originated.
I do, and it actually replaced the slogan "Scenic." So, I mean, talk about making a strong statement. Okay.
Okay.
All right. American Revolution.
Yes.
1809. General John Stark, who was probably the most famous Revolution soldier from New Hampshire. There was an anniversary of the Battle of Bennington, maybe.
Bennington?
Anyway, yeah. Anyway, anniversary. He couldn't make it because he was sick, so he sent a letter saying, "Live free or die. Death is not the worst evil." So that's where that slogan came from.
Wow.
Nice, huh?
And it lives today on license plates.
today.
It's great.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah. So that's cool. I'd
Do you
like
have
to
any
make
American Revolution ancestors?
No, mine didn't get here till, well, they got here around that time. I think they were Germans. I won't get into that.
Yeah.
But let's dedicate.
Let's do.
I got one.
Okay.
We're going to dedicate this segment to all the wounded warriors from all wars who have been awarded the Purple Heart Medal.
Okay.
If you're a
Good.
wounded warrior, you've obviously been
Good.
awarded the Purple Heart. And we salute your service. And we salute the support that your families have given you, too. And while on that subject...
That's a great dedication.
Yeah, I'd like to remind everybody that we have a poll question currently running. It's a suggestion. We like to throw our influence around here and there when we can with the with Congress. And the question is, do you approve or would you favor a IRS tax modification that would give recipients of the Purple Heart an annual tax credit?
Oh.
There's no amount disclosed. I mean, in my book, it should be 50 grand, but you're not going to get that
Right.
on a tax credit. But 5 grand, 2 grand, 10 grand, we just want to bounce that around on the poll just to see what people think. We have had some responses. It's about 80-20. 80% have said yes. The other 20% said, well, what about us who fought but didn't get wounded? And I'm totally in agreement with that response. And here again, we're just fishing.
Yeah,
we're just
sure.
chumming. We just want to see what the public and the veteran community sentiment is on this. And once we got a lot of votes in, then we get some votes on the poll. Then we have some horsepower, because all of our poll results are forwarded to the House Committee on Veterans Affairs through the people we're connected with there. So there you go.
That's on our site.
And
Right?
speaking
Yep.
of wounded warriors,
Yep.
how about old Tammy Duckworth? Oh,
Love her. The
boy.
Duckworth dress down.
yeah.
Go, girl. Yeah. Yeah.
She,
in June?
You talk about stolen valor, and we got a video we're going to run. Some of you have probably seen it, but it's worth seeing again. And if you haven't seen it, you're going to love this.
Yes, she's.
The background is it's a hearing. It's like a Senate hearing, and they got this guy.
Businessman.
He's
Virginia
a businessman. He was a Navy veteran. So let's not misconstrue that. He was a Navy veteran. but he injured his foot while playing.
Was he a Navy vet, or was it just prep school?
No, you'll hear that in the investigation. But he injured his foot, broke his foot or something, foot injury in college sports.
In prep school. In a military prep school, yeah.
Okay, all right.
But then went on to play college
Went into the Navy and then came out of the Navy and said that injury happened in the Navy or he aggravated in the Navy, and this is all questionable. He's trying to pull the wool is what he's doing.
Yeah, because he was trying to get a contract, some sort of government.
It's typical of the fraud and the phonies that take advantage of the suffering that the wounded warriors have gone through, and it really aggravates the crap out of me. But let's watch this video and let's enjoy the Duckworth dress down.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This hearing is very troubling to me because this case really shows how things can go wrong. I want to support our small business owners as much as possible. I want these set-asides to be successful. But I am absolutely appalled by the advantages that have been taken of the system. Mr. Floor, I know you cannot discuss Mr. Castillo's case because you would need his permission to discuss his particular case. That's why you could not answer the question earlier. My understanding also is that the VBA specifically is bound by legislation that says a certain condition has a certain disability rating. For example, a below-knee amputation is 40%. It just is, correct?
That is correct, ma'am.
So it seems like there is an opportunity here for some legislative fixes to this system. Mr. Chodos, is it true that any rating, even if it's just 5%, would qualify someone for a service-connected disability-owned business?
So long as they qualify under the VA's rules for service-connected disability, that is adequate for the self-certification.
Thank you. Mr. Castillo, how are you? Thank you. Thank you for being here today.
I am not well, but you're welcome.
All right. So your foot hurt? Your left foot?
Yes, ma'am.
It hurts. Yeah, my feet hurt too. In fact, the balls of my feet burn continuously, and I feel like there's a nail being hammered into my right heel right now. So I can understand pain and suffering and how service connection can actually cause long-term, unremitting, unyielding, unstoppable pain. So I'm sorry that twisting your ankle in high school has now come back to hurt you in such a painful way, if also opportune for you to gain this status for your business as you were trying to compete for contracts. I also understand why something can take years to manifest themselves from when you hurt them. In fact, I have a dear friend who sprayed Agent Orange out of his Huey in Vietnam, who it took 40 years for the leukemia to actually manifest itself, and he died 6 months later. So I can see how military service, while at the time you seemed very healthy, could 40 years later result in devastating injury. So can you tell me if you hurt your left foot again during your football career subsequently to twisting it in high school?
Ma'am, I don't understand the high school comment.
But the gentlelady, prep school,
I apologize.
post-high school.
I'm not.
Post-high school. Okay, post-high school, prep school, before college, prep school. Did you injure your left foot again after prep school?
I'm not sure I understand the question, ma'am.
You played football in college, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
As a quarterback?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you injure that same foot again subsequently in the years since you twisted it in prep school?
Not to my recollection, ma'am.
Not to your recollection. Okay. Why didn't you, Mr. Castillo, tell the VA that your doctor's note to them was inaccurate when you knew that it was?
I don't feel that it's inaccurate, ma'am.
Okay.
Would you like me to address that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. So one of my doctors that submitted letters, so as part of the injury, you have to establish that it's chronic and reoccurring. So when I returned home to San Diego, my doctor from San Diego had also had said that he treated me for the foot injury that I suffered on active duty. When I moved to Las Vegas a couple of years later, that doctor submitted that he continued to treat me for that left foot, broken foot injury. Finally, when I moved to Virginia, I I went to a doctor and that it continued to hurt. And he established that, so Dr. Sam Wilson, who ironically was also stationed at Monmouth.
Okay, I have to cut you off because I'm running out of time. I'm sorry.
So I just want to, so let me finish. So in talking to Dr. Wilson, who himself is a disabled veteran and very familiar with Fort Monmouth, and that his son had went there as well and played football, he actually was the one that talked to me about, hey, this may be something that is connected. And I believe I told him
So let
that
me,
I was first
let
hurt
me,
playing
I have to cut
football,
you off. I have to
and
cut you off.
then
Now,
hurt
this is
me.
not an argument. I'm talking.
Yes,
I'm up
ma'am.
here.
Yes,
Let me ask you this. Do you feel that the 30% rating that you have for the scars and the pain in your foot is accurate to the sacrifices that you've made for this nation? That the VA decision is accurate in your case?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
You know, my right arm was essentially blown off and reattached. I spent a year in limb salvage with over a dozen surgeries over that time period. And in fact, we thought we would lose my arm, and I'm still in danger of possibly losing my arm. I can't feel it. I can't feel my 3 fingers. My disability rating for that arm is 20%. In your letter to a government official, I think it's the SVA, attention Gina Mu, you said, my family and I have made considerable sacrifices for our country. My service-connected disability status should serve as a testimony to that end. I can't play with my kids because I can't walk without pain. I take twice daily pain medication so I can work a normal day's worth. These are crosses. These are crosses that I bear due to my service to our great country, and I would do it again to protect this great country. I'm so glad that you would be willing to play football in prep school again to protect this great country. Shame on you, Mr. Castillo. Shame on you. You may not have broken any laws. We're not sure yet. You did misrepresent to the SBA, but you certainly broke the trust of this great nation. You broke the trust of veterans. Iraq and Afghanistan veterans right now are waiting an average of 237 days for an initial disability rating. And it is because people like you who are gaming the system are adding to that backlog so that young men and women who are suffering from post-traumatic stress, who are missing limbs, cannot get the compensation and the help that they need. And I'm sure you played through the pain of that foot all through college. Well, let me tell you something. I recovered with a young man, a Navy corpsman, who, while he was running into an ambush where his Marines were hurt, had his leg knocked off with an RPG. He put a tourniquet on himself and crawled forward. He is who played through the pain, Mr. Castillo. You did not. You took advantage of a system. You described these status just today, that other companies were using these special statuses as competitive weapons against you. You who never picked up a weapon in defense of this great nation, very cynically took advantage of the system. You broke the faith with this nation. You broke the faith with the men and women who lie in hospitals right now at Walter Reed, in Bethesda, at Brooke Army Medical Center in Landstuhl. You broke the faith with them. And if this nation stops funding veterans' health care and stops and calls into question why veterans deserve their benefits, it is because cases like you have poisoned the public's opinion on these programs. I hope that you think twice about the example that you're setting for your children. I hope that you think twice about what you are doing to the nation, this nation's veterans who are willing to die to protect this nation. Twisting your ankle in prep school is not defending or serving this nation, Mr. Castillo. Mr. Chairman, I'm sorry, you've been very indulgent. I yield back.
I thank the gentlelady, and the time was well spent.
Yeah, awesome. She's awesome. And I'll tell you, it really just comes down to responsibility and accountability.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. May not have broken the law. Who can say?
You know, these,
but it's just not.
I mean, stolen valor, wannabes, they just disgust me. And, you know, I used to have this thing I used to do. You'd run into guys and they go, yeah, I was in Vietnam, and I'd test them. I used to have these test questions. And I remember one of my test questions was, so did you move around in slicks much? And if they look at me like,
Yeah.
because everybody that was there,
Like the look I just gave you?
everybody who was there that humped knew what a slick was. A slick was a Huey. And it was only armed with 2 door gunners. That's why they call it a slick. And that was a troop carrying thing. So if I say, hey, Do you move around in slicks?
Yeah, yeah.
A real Vietnam vet would know, or at least a combat vet would know exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So that was my test question. And,
Yeah.
and some of them, they look at me like, I go, shut up, get out of here.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so,
I don't know. Yeah. Well,
anyway, when you run into these guys out there, you know, you got to square them up and dress them down. You know, they need to learn a lesson. You know, quit it.
sure.
Yeah, don't do that.
I mean, it's just taking advantage of everybody. You know.
I mean, there's too many brave men and women who authentically serve their country for people like that to be going making stuff up and, you know, trying to,
Well,
and then worse yet, trying to get benefits out of
Right.
it.
And she nailed it in that, you know, he needs to set an example for his children as well. I mean, what is this? Again, it's accountability, responsibility. I don't
Yeah.
know. Ridiculous.
I know.
Ridiculous. But what can you do?
What can you do?
All right.
So, we have a history quiz.
Right. Well, we just had the music one.
We had to be-
Anybody?
Rick didn't turn his cell phone
Yeah,
off.
great. Brian's going to get you for that. Who is it?
It's my wife.
Speaking of tough chicks.
Hi, honey.
Hi.
Hi. I'm sorry. I'm actually in the middle of a Veterans Nation segment here. And I forgot to turn my phone off. Well, listen, while I got you, say hello to our vets. Here, I'm going to put you on the mic. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Hey, Vets. How are y'all? Hey, thanks again for your service.
That was nice. Thank you. Okay. All right, honey. Bye. Okay. Okay. Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye. Love you. One of the first rules of filmmaking is shut the cell phone off.
Yeah,
Anyway.
well, I'm glad she called after Tammy Duckworth because I think your wife is also a very strong, amazing woman.
Oh, yeah, she
Just-
gets after it. Yeah,
just
yeah.
And an awesome stunt driver. Awesome
Yeah.
stunt woman.
Speaking of families, how's your hubby doing?
Oh, he's good. He's been over in Jakarta filming some
Oh,
project.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got there, and within an hour of being there, there were already political protests outside of his hotel.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, yeah. So he
jeez.
he was filming that, and they were staying inside the hotel and
Wow.
not leaving.
Yeah, she's married to a Hollywood stuntman. His name is Tom Williams. I know him very well.
He used to teach
He-
for you.
Yeah, he is one of the biggest, most agile humans I've ever met.
Yeah, you never
Yeah.
guessed by looking at him. He was a national. Did you know he was a national champion cheerleader in college?
That's where he got his agility from.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But it was one of those where his girlfriend, he hurt his knee playing football or something, I can't remember. And so his girlfriend at the time was a cheerleader and kind of double dog dared him to
Yeah.
try a cheerleading squad. So he learned a standing back tuck in a day. You know,
Yeah.
one of those. It's just like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't want to hear about it. Next thing you know.
Yeah, you don't want to mess with big guys, and you sure don't want to mess with big guys that can move fast. That's why I'll never lay a hand on you, my dear.
I'm safe.
Oh, yes. Anyway, the
Anyway.
history quiz.
All right,
The
yes, history quiz.
Here it
Let's
is. I
get
know
back.
it by heart. It's new. I think this one's a lot easier than the last one. Here it goes. And again, all of our quizzes are for a $100 gift certificate to the service or store of your choice. If you are the first email with the right answer, the email address is info@veteransnetwork.org. Here's the quiz question. This is a combination of two wars. It's a two-part question. Part one is, who were the first two full divisions to deploy in the 3 Corps area, the 3rd Military Region of Vietnam in the Vietnam War? Who were the first 2 full military divisions to be deployed there? That means not just a brigade, but when were the first 2 full divisions in place in 3 Corps in Vietnam? That's
Okay.
part one. Part two, who were the first 3 full divisions to deploy to Iraq after our entry into Iraq in 2003. Not Gulf War, the Iraq War.
Iraq War.
Operation Iraqi Freedom, OIF.
Okay.
The first 3 full divisions.
That's a tough one.
Put those 2 together, email us, and you win $100. Okay?
Love it.
All right.
All right.
Is that it for today? I think it is.
I think so. That's a good one to close on because now people have to frantically write down what you said and start digging.
You know what? You know how we're going to go out? I'm going to tell you how we're going to go out.
All right, tell me.
Brian, our tech man, showed me a video this morning. You talk about disabled. Mm-hmm. Now, you know, our combat vets, we know about wounds. We know all about amputees and what that's all about. And we know about inspiration. I'm going to run a video on the outro here. It's inspiring. It's about this young man who lost an arm, and he's just got a scholarship at University of Florida for basketball.
Get out.
Yep.
For basketball.
And wait till you see what this kid can do with a basketball. It's amazing.
Awesome.
Vets, enjoy it as we get on our way here. Thank you for viewing, and welcome home.
Welcome home. Thanks
right.
again.
A Georgia teenager with a dream was told that he would never play college basketball. Now he has earned a spot on one of the nation's top teams at the University of Florida. He can shoot, pass, and dribble like few other high school players. As Manuel Bojorquez shows us, he does it all while overcoming a major obstacle.
If being born without a hand were a disability, no one bothered to tell 17-year-old Zach Hodskins.
I just see myself as another player that's worked hard to reach his goals.
Getting others to see him that way has been difficult. Hodskins recalls his experience during one off-campus pickup game in particular.
And he looked at me and he's like, "Can you play?" And I said, "Yeah." So he picks up a basketball and he throws it at me. And I miss it because I was just hesitant. Came back a couple minutes later, got on a team, played against them, and destroyed them.
Somebody judged you just based on your appearance.
Absolutely.
And said you can't even catch the ball. You flipped that around.
Yeah, and that's what I love to do.
Here he is playing guard for Georgia's Milton High School. His game videos have been viewed 3.6 million times on YouTube, showing him sinking three-pointer after three-pointer.
See, look how he runs down the court. He's ahead of everyone.
That caught the attention of scouts like Joe Davis.
His birth defect is really he uses that as a strength. If he ever has to make a left-handed pass, he'll just wrap it around his back and make that pass.
This week, Hodskins got the news he's been waiting for, a shot to play for the top 10 ranked Florida Gators next season.
What was it like to get that call?
You know, amazing. Ever since I was little, I always knew I wanted to play college ball somewhere.
Matt Kramer is his coach.
In 20 years of coaching, his story, the ability to overcome something like that and to be such an inspiration, where does that rank?
Oh, it's #1. I mean, there's no question about it. I've never seen anything like it. I've never been around anything like it.
Neither have his teammates.
He definitely gets his share of looks and whispers, to the side. I mean, once he starts playing, they're like, he's better than half the kids out there.
And that's all Hodskins has ever wanted, to show he's a good basketball player, born with something to prove.
You can accomplish anything, and coming up, I know I had a lot of doubters saying, he won't play at the highest D1 level. But I never listened to those people.
And he's not about to start now. For CBS This Morning, Manuel Bojorquez, Milton, Georgia.
Wow! I feel good.